You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Trump DOJ ripped for glowing court brief demanding his name returned to Kennedy Center based on an article by Sarah K. Burris. Naming the building is the point. Power, not patrimony. Donald Trump is not fighting over a sign. He is fighting over institutional ownership of meaning. The Kennedy Center is a public cultural landmark, but his administration is trying to turn it into a personal monument, then defend that conversion in court as if it were ordinary governance. That is the real story. Executive power used to annex public space and rebrand it as tribute to the executive. The source of the claim. The reporting says a federal judge already ruled the name belongs to the statute, not to Trump. That should have ended the matter. Instead, the administration returned with a brief that reads less like legal argument than self-congratulation, complete with claims about Trump's construction talents and his supposedly decisive role in rescuing the center. The filing is signed by an assistant attorney general, but the voice is unmistakably Trump's. That matters. When the government's legal apparatus starts laundering a leader's vanity through official litigation, the institution is not just defending a position, it is performing loyalty. Who enabled the outcome? Trump is the actor driving the naming campaign, but he is not acting alone. His own board voted to rename the center after him. His administration then wrapped that decision in a legal filing that insists donors only gave money because the building carried his name. That is not neutral administration. It is institutionalized self-dealing dressed up as fiscal necessity. The article also notes the scale of the claim. $257 million from Congress and hundreds of millions from private donors. The argument is simple and manipulative. First, capture the institution's identity, then claim that identity is indispensable to the money, then threaten collapse if the court refuses to ratify the theft of prestige. Misdirection is strategy. The filing tries to shift attention from Trump's power grab to alleged financial catastrophe. That is classic misdirection. Convert a naming dispute into a story about financial ruin. And suddenly the question is no longer whether the president should be allowed to brand a public arts institution with his own name. The question becomes whether anyone can afford to resist him. The article's ridicule from observers is understandable because the pettiness is obvious. But pettiness is not the core offense. The core offense is that a president is using the machinery of government to pursue symbolic possession of public institutions and then weaponizing legal process to make that seizure look inevitable. The pattern beneath the tarp. This is part of a broader pattern in which Trump attempts to overwrite public institutions with personal branding, airports, passports, park passes, and now a performing arts center. The common thread is not taste, it is dominion. Public things are treated as blank surfaces for the leader's name, image, and status. The tarp on the building is almost too perfect a symbol. It is literal concealment covering a symbolic act of concealment. The administration wants the public to look at the renamed institution, the supposed donor panic, the legal wrangling, anything except the underlying fact. The powerful are trying to convert shared civic property into a personal monument and calling that normal governance. Systemic error. The deeper failure is not one man's vanity. It is an institutional culture willing to translate vanity into official action, then into legal argument, then into public policy. That is how authoritarian habits travel, through boards, briefs, and bureaucrats who decide that serving power is easier than confronting it. The result is not merely a name on a building. It is a government that increasingly behaves like a branding office for the people already in charge. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article, with the automated voice of Joe. Thanks for listening.